Hello, and welcome to another episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. This is Beriathan of the Citadel Guard of Gondor, and we are back deep beneath Gundabad in what seems to be the last episode of the main series for the foreseeable future. This would be the end of our Gundabad run, and we still have the return of Khárn Dûm that it's coming relatively soon, but once again, I'm not sure if there is any big story tied to that. If that will be maybe the beginning or the setup of the upcoming storylines and expansions. So all that is to say, I'm not sure if that one will be a continuation of these Gundabad episodes. And if that's the case, that would be great. If that's not the case, then I guess we'll need to wait for Gondor later this year. So yeah, it's gonna be the final episode for a while. Not sure entirely. Not entirely sure exactly how long will it be before we start recording more episodes. Gabil'akkâ is a little nostalgic as well, but well, that's what happened. We got to the end. There's one more thing we're gonna do today, but after that, I think that's it. And before you ask, yes, I know I'm still missing Before the Shadow, but Before the Shadow technically comes before Gundabad as well, so it's not going to be a continuation of Gundabad. It's going to be its own separate thing, but Before the Shadow is also coming. Before we leave this place, or well, rather, as we leave this place so that we don't waste any more time, something that I've been meaning to do for a long time that I always forgot is just checking this. You've been playing for 1 month, 1 week, 1 day, 4 hours, 43 minutes and 22 seconds. So 1 month, let's say the game counts that as 30 days. I'm not sure, but that seems reasonable enough. 1 week, 38 days, 4 hours, 43 minutes and 22 seconds. So 38 days, I'll need to do the math really quick. Because, yeah, I'm really curious to see how long did it take me to get to this point. If I were to try to do this again, how long would it take approximately? So we say 38 days is 912 hours. And we add the other 4, it's 916, almost 917 hours plus the amount of time we take on today's episode. 1 hour more tops. So that means almost 920 hours to go from level 1 to level 140, give or take. A lot of this time, well, maybe not a lot, but some of this time was spent running festivals and some other kind of dailies. So realistically, we could say it's closer maybe to the 850 hour mark. But that's still a long road that we have traveled so far. I'm getting a little bit nostalgic too, just saying it, thinking about it out loud. But yeah, it's been almost a month and a half of continuous playing to get to this point. And once again, I'm not sure if I would ever do this again. I feel inclined to in some cases. There are some classes that I want to try, and the leveling experience is always fun. If it is another Warden or if it is a different class, it's still a fun journey. But this is sort of a way of putting things into perspective, if you will. And a great way also of passing time as we leave the depths of Gundabad. I realize I could have used my milestone skill, a master, a swift travel option, and maybe I will after I leave this place. It's just that I really like the looks of this place, the overall atmosphere. So I really didn't want to skip it. You're too busy to do that right now? Yeah. Lagging a little bit. But anyway. And here we have, once again, the mosaic of Durin and Mótsog. We got a replica of that one at the end of last episode. As I was saying, we still have one more thing to do, so for time's sake, let us journey back to the Hall of Vernosol. So glad I have this skill. It comes so handy for these kind of situations, and even though I don't think I will be uploading any more videos about the Gundabad content, I'm still doing the dailies and the missions, and not counting the missions as part of the Gundabad content because that will be on the Tales of Middle-earth playlist or the last episodes, I'm not sure. But it's not gonna be a direct continuation of what we're gonna do today. So yeah, this will be the end, and I still be coming back here. It's just that I don't think I will be uploading anything that comes after this to the channel until we get the Return to Khârn Dûm. But what we have in here is very interesting.
There are those who believe that Hrímil Frostheart has abandoned Mount Gundabad. I say they are wrong. It is true she has fled, but only deeper into the mountain home, to Abnankâra.
Very interesting and fun thing we have left to do. It is recommended but not required that you complete the Legacy of Durin and the Trials of the Dwarves before playing the Hiddenhoard of Abnankâra. There are those who believe that Hrímil Frostheart has abandoned Mount Gundabad. I say they are wrong. It is true she has fled, but only deeper into the mountain home, to Abnankâra. Does that name sound unfamiliar to your ear? It should, my friend. It is known to none who still live, save for me, and that is only because I share the memories of the Durin who came before me. Not long after the Greymold Rebellion was ended and Mótsog came to dwell in solitude in the caverns deep beneath the mountain home, he confessed a secret to me, to the Durin I was then. Before the ruinous war between our peoples, he had set the Greymolds upon a great task, to delve a hidden treasury within the depths of Mount Gundabad. It was named Abnankâra, the Hiddenhoard, and it would have been the jewel of Mótsog's kingdom. Had the Greymold succeeded in their plot to steal the wealth and mithril of Khazad-dûm, it is certain the spoils would have come to rest at Abnankâra. Whether it was by some sense or duty or mere curiosity, I, when I was Durin I, heeded Mótsog's words and found a hidden way to the gates of Abnankâra. I strode within its halls only once, and when I had seen all that I had meant to, I sealed it behind me, leaving the few ill-gotten riches of the Greymolds to be forgotten. And so it has been for many ages of the world. It lies still in the Clovengap, my friend, and in my heart, I am certain that is where Hrímil Frostheart has gone. I have sent my uncle Náin ahead with a small company to seek for the Hiddenhoard. Will you aid him, my friend? Will you see our long struggle for the conquest of Mount Gundabad to its end? Yes, I will. As you see here, this is the end of the campaign for the reclamation of Mount Gundabad. Loknashra, well, she wasn't slain, but she was defeated and she left Mount Gundabad. So that means that the only thing that we have left to do is take care of Hrímil Frostheart. And getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, Durin is right in his gut feeling. That's where we will find Hrímil, in the Hiddenhoard. I was also wondering why there was no mention of it anywhere else, so now Durin has given us that explanation. I had forgotten about it, but now we know why no one else knew about the Hiddenhoard. So before we go there is also a weekly quest that we can take. Now that we are going to the raid anyway.
You are welcome among us, friend.
We must reclaim Mount Gundabad, and that means putting an end to Hrímil Frostheart. If you aid Prince Durin and the Dwarves of the Gabil'akkâ in their efforts at the Hiddenhoard of Abnankâra and succeed, we will offer you a fine reward. So this is just to complete the raid on any difficulty tier, but we need to complete the discovery and then complete the raid. But as you see here, it also provides a lot of nice rewards. So, well, we're gonna be doing the raid anyway. Might as well pick up that quest. I'm so glad, I think I had already mentioned this to you, but I'm so glad that at least this raid we can do as part of the main series, because, well, I haven't even been able to do all the raids I want, but the few raids I've been able to do, they have also been released separately on the lost episodes, because I wasn't able to get a group to run them when I was going through the relevant content related to that raid. So this is a first for the channel, the first time that we will do a raid when we are at the cap of that raid, while the raid is still relevant for endgame and everything. And that way we'll see the end of the Gundabad storyline. Well, we'll see, yeah, the conclusion of it. In a way, also the conclusion of, well, the Hrímil storyline and the Dwarf storyline that we began in the Black Book of Mordor. Once again, you fight Hrímil in the anvil, and then you think that's gonna be it, and then you find out that Hrímil is still around, was not defeated, and well, that, as I was saying the last time, that is something we're gonna make sure of today, to put an end to Hrímil's evils. So for this, we just gotta, once again, well, take a right so that we can be a little bit quicker about this. As you see from the map, is quite far from where we are right now. That's a place that we've technically been through already, but we weren't level 140 at the time to unlock the discovery of the deed, and in any case we still need to go there to meet Náin and advance the quest to the point where we need to complete the raid. So with a little bit of luck, this is not going to take long. I'm really looking forward to it. The raid is another thing that I have only done once, and I do remember a couple things about it, but I still count this as a first, because it's been a long time since I did the raid on my other Warden, but now I have the chance of doing it with Beriathan. So that is very exciting. As I told you before as well, I was initially planning on doing the raid first, leaving the epilogue for last, so that I could give you my thoughts on the Legacy of Durin after doing everything in Gundabad. But as we've seen on the last episode, after you complete the epilogue, part of the text of the story in there is that you have not yet defeated Hrímil, when Mótsog finally goes to sleep forever. So things weren't a little bit different than planned, but I am glad it was the case. It's great that the Houses of Rest would take you to back to Stonejaws, so that way you have the perfect excuse for going back to the depths of Gundabad and complete the epilogue with Mótsog, without it feeling like you're going out of your way for it. So yeah, I'm really glad about it. I think I shouldn't have climbed this high. So I'm really just looking for a homemade way, if you will, of getting back to the road. Hopefully, once again, these worms and drakes will not be a problem, a big problem at least. But well, we're about to get this mounted. There's no way around it. But well, we're almost there. How far, actually? Less than 400 meters. We can do it. Maybe I should defeat all the enemies that are coming after me so that I can move faster. But I don't feel like fighting right now. Alright. Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall! That's what I get for getting lazy and trying to avoid the fights. Can you imagine if I had fallen? Would have been terrible, but thankfully it didn't happen. It's just that this guy's also asking for it, so I'm happy to comply. And here we are. It appears that Náin and his company have uncovered an old passage deeper into the Clovengap.
I can hardly explain it, my friend. How could Durin know of such a passage?
It'd be true. Náin absent-mindedly strokes at the air beneath his shorn beard before lowering his hand. You know of what I speak, Beriathan. When Durin told me that he had proclaimed himself to be Durin VII, Durin the Deathless Reborn, I must admit I balked at his words. Durin confided in me and he spoke of visions and of ancient memories that returned to him deep within Mount Gundabad. And so you must imagine my disbelief when he told me that Hrímil had made a lair for herself in an old Hrímil treasury, the so-called Hiddenhoard of Abnankâra. Such a thing should not even exist. Yet, with each swing of those pickaxes, I find myself more convinced. Náin glances over his shoulder at the dwarves of his company picking away at the eyes of Amgaruzlun. It has been some time, my friend. Why don't you see if we have broken through? Right, just quick picture of Náin, if you don't mind. Because yes, I know it's hard to believe, but Durin confided in you and told you the truth. You better believe it. So here we are, following the passage. Beyond the falls of Amgaruzlun in the Clovengap, you have discovered the hidden court of Abnankâra. Do not fear, little one. There are treasures enough for all. Who is saying that? A distant voice from deep within the darkness of the passage ahead. A voice seems to beckon you. Whose voice is it? I have a feeling, but I guess I'll need to wait until the raid is completed to double check that. Discover the hidden hoard. 150 virtue XP, not much, but every little bit helps, I guess. So yes, here we are at the entrance of the hidden hoard, and I'll be back with you as soon as I have my group ready to enter the raid and confront Hrímil Frostheart. Alright, there is still something else that we were missing before entering the raid. We need to actually go back to Náin and tell him what we found in here. So let us do just that.
You say you heard a voice on the wind?
You say you...
Be no other. We have found the lair of Hrímil Frostheart!
I shall send word to Durin at once, my friend. If ever I doubted his words, I have now all the proof I sought. Alas, that the Black Mattock was lost in the deep grave. This will have to do. Náin hefts a war mattock of the Iron Hills in his hand. In the meantime, Beriathan, I would ask that you gather your strongest allies to Mount Gundabad. When you are prepared, we shall see what awaits us within Abnankâra. Even with the combined might of the Gabil'akkâ behind him, Durin shall have need of you and of them, if victory is to be won. Alright, you see, yeah, the Black Mattock is gone alongside Náin's beard. And he just has this one that he brought for him, the Iron Heels. And Garliv and I are actually ready to enter Abnankâra now. Once again, we just need to wait for the group to be ready. But we are. So, once again, I'll be back with you as soon as I'm ready to enter the raid. Shouldn't be long now. Okay, the group seems to be ready now, or almost ready. In any case, I think we are missing just one more. But we'll be getting ready to start the raid nonetheless. So there we go.
Beyond the falls of Amgarusla, in the Clovengap, lies Abnankâra, the Hiddenhoard. Once an ancient treasury, brought in secret by Mótsog and the Greymoors during their rebellion against the Longbeards in the Elder Days, has become the lair of Hrímil Frostheart, the dreaded cold dragon of Morgoth. Within this frozen retreat, Hrímil tends her wounds and slumbers, dreaming of vengeance upon Prince Durin and the dwarves of the Gabil'akkâ.
It is just as I remembered. Alas, that Abnankâra should have fallen to Hrímil Frostheart. You will lead the vanguard, my friend, and I shall lead the Gabil'akkâ behind you. But beware the voice of the dragon.
Okay, they are sharing some quests. I cannot accept the shared quests if I have the dialogue open, so let me just accept what they are sharing, and we'll start the raid proper. So you see there some of the drama, the introduction, and what Durin has to say, and now we have this. It is time, Beriathan. Abnankâra lies just ahead, but to gain entry to its halls and its deepest chambers, we must overcome Hrímil's mightiest guardians. To win this final victory will be a difficult and costly task, but it is one we must undertake. If we do not stop Hrímil Frostheart before she recovers from the wounds dealt to her by Mótsog, we may never have such an opportunity again. Such a thing must not come to pass. The vanguard is yours to lead, my friend. So, there we have it. This is just the quest to track your progress through the raid. I have just realized I need to respec, as using here this was recorded before update 35 released, and as such a yellow line was still a specialization, and it was what wardens needed in raids, mostly to get the old adroit maneuver buff on hunters. And that's what I will be doing, but well, the fight has already started and I am missing it because I am too busy respecing, and I really don't want to miss what happens in this raid. I have only been once before today's episode in here, so just wanna witness the story once again and remember what this is all about. As you can see here, we are fighting some of the ice giants. Same ice giants from the Welkin-lofts, I assume, the ones that allied themselves with Hrímil. So, as Durin said, we need to defeat Hrímil's protectors, Hrímil's guardians, and the first ones in line are these frost giants. There are actually 2 pools of ads, but we cleared them all already. The group pulled them all, but before we begin with the boss proper, which is this group of giants in here, I really need to make sure I have all my traits sorted out. I mean, I'm already under geared in comparison to the rest of the group. It's tier 1, so that's not a big of a deal, but I wanna bring as much to the table as I can, so I really need to finish speccing before we begin the boss fight. It's just that I wasn't really that familiar with the old yellow tree. Didn't play too much on it, so I'm trying to remember what should I be trading for. Just, well, getting what I think would be best, but yeah, I was not that familiar with this style of playing, so at least I don't have to worry about that one anymore, but for this raid I do. This, however, looks good enough, and there we have the ready check, so let's go.
It was by the will of Hrungra that we, the heirs of Fierstad, sought to forge an alliance with the dragon. We have sworn ourselves to the Frostheart and offered her our finest tribute. In her kindness, she has promised that our home will never be stolen from us, be it by dwarves or any other wicked invaders. None may come unhidden to the hidden. Our choice is made. The homes of those who dare to defy us litter the ice below. Flee or meet that fate.
So yeah, the same ice giants as the Welkin-lofts. These three guys, however, have not realized we've already taken care of Hrungra, so... or maybe they do and they just don't care. They still believe the promises of Hrímil and the Angmarim. In any case, we need to defeat them to be able to proceed. The strategy for this fight is taking first this giant in here, Vetar, and I think he is the one that is applying these blue eyes on the group, and on tier 1 doesn't seem to be that big of an issue, but those blue eyes will summon a blizzard, so you really gotta make sure that you spawn that blizzard away from your group. And otherwise that can be deadly. I don't remember exactly what does the yellow eye do. If it's increased incoming damage or something like that. But once again, it's a tier 1, so we really don't need to worry too much about this. And now that the first giant has fallen, we just need to deal with the other two guys. Doing as best as I can, of course, because once again, I'm not as familiar with what yellow traits were useful to have. The old yellow line gameplay, I am also not really that familiar. I know the gameplay loop revolved around getting your proc of Seize the Moment and get your cooldown frame masteries, and then cram as many gambits as you could in that window. But that's the basics. I really never learned which gambits to use every time I got Seize the Moment, so you would see me using the same 3 or 4 gambits over and over again. But that's it for the giants. Some enhancement runes, it seems. There are still a couple more giants in here, but those 3 were the ones leading the giants in here. And we also have an explorer deed in the Hiddenhoard, 4 different locations that we'll get to visit them all as we advance through the raid. There is a Slayer deed. We already are 17 out of 140, plus all the deeds for completing the raid from tiers 1 to 5. So we might be able to complete a couple of these deeds on this run, but of course we will not be clearing them all. Once again, this is just a tier 1. But tier 1, it's all we need for today's episode. So that you and I both can see the final confrontation with Hrímil. Hrímil is still ways off. We still need to fight our way to her. And we are only getting started. And, alright. And the last ball. Just some drakes, some dragons. Nothing too major or unexpected in here. But with all the ads taken care of, this wall of fights melts and we can finally enter the Hiddenhoard proper. Let's go.
It seems we have uninvited guests. Welcome them, won't you, maggots?
Alright, so Warlord Dushtalbúk, it seems, is expecting us. But we'll also get a chance of finally confronting him and putting an end to his evil. You'll see that he is not a warlord. He's technically a troll lord anyway. And I'm not sure exactly what's the difference, if there is any, between a warlord and a troll lord. But bottom line, we will be facing Dushtalbúk at long last. He also had it coming. We have been after him ever since we came to the Pit of Stonejaws, and even earlier. This is something that I only remember quite recently, but if you remember when we were doing the Assassination of Gorgar questline, when you advance through the Reputation factions,
With the true ruler of Mount Gundabad.
when you're advancing through the factions in Elderslate and you start unlocking more missions, in one of those missions where the hobgoblins are trying to free Hrímil, we learn about the existence of Warlord Dushtalbúk and how his plan involves using Gorgar until his usefulness ends, after which he intends to kill him. And as we have seen through our journeys in Gundabad, that didn't exactly work as he planned, but we have been after the trail of Dushtalbúk for quite some time, and we are finally getting to the long-awaited face-off against them. And I also gotta say, Gundabad has a lot of self-proclaimed lords. Hrímil, Gorgar and Dushtalbúk have all claimed that title. And of course, Durin is not gonna be pleased about that. So we're gonna make sure that there are no contenders for the title of Lord of Gundabad. And you see in there we're already halfway through with this lair deed. This has to be one of the easiest deeds to complete. You just need to do one run of the raid and that's it. Full run. But just one and that's it. And at tier 1, it's really not that challenging. We just finished clearing up the last wave of ads before Dushtalbúk. Is that it? Still missing the frost collar.
You have my attention.
Oh, fancy that. Let's go.
And swear fealty to Hrímil Frostheart. You will serve the Frost Horde, or you will die. So it has been for the orcs, so it will be for the all the so-called free peoples have bent to her will. Only the dwarf prince will remain to oppose her. And he will fail. So come then, meet your fate. Death to Durin I!
Yeah, also worth mentioning, Gorgar is under the influence of Hrímil's voice. Gorgar, no, Dushtalbúk, well, Gorgar and Dushtalbúk, but we're facing Dushtalbúk now. And since it's been quite some time since I recorded that episode, I had forgotten that Dushtalbúk is actually under the influence of Hrímil. And here I am making a really silly mistake. Thankfully, it wasn't a costly mistake. But at certain morale thresholds, Dushtalbúk will, I guess, smash his hammer on the floor and some debris will fall off the roof. That's how I understand it. Every time that Dushtalbúk runs to the center of the room and readies his hammer, just like that, you gotta actually hide behind the pillars. Especially on higher tiers. If you don't hide, you'll die. Oh, and those spikes are also quite nasty. But today at least we are making good progress with Dushtalbúk. He will also summon ads at certain points, certain morale thresholds. The ads are not that big of a deal on tier 1. And once again, on tier 1, nothing of this is really that big of a deal. Especially for the king. Most people are already geared up. I am Dushtalbúk and I serve no one? No, that's not true. You're under Hrímil's influence. As I was saying, my king special is very well geared. Me, not so much. But since the rest of them are doing so good, we're really having a really easy time in here.
What is this?
So now Náin and Durin have found the Hiddenhoard, it seems.
Hrímil!
Completed. The explorer did Akkâra Sulgifshin. Oh my god.
You arrive, heroes. It seems neither Gorgar nor Dushtalbúk were worthy to be my servants.
Yeah, it seems that.
Thank you for seeing to it that they paid for their failures.
I care not for words of false flattery, dragon.
But where has your sword-bearded friend gone? Where rests his mithril hammer?
Mótsog is gone. His warhammer rests with him.
What have I now to fear? I live, and he does not. What say you, little prince?
I am Durin the Seventh, and I reject your claim to Mount Gundabad. Be gone, or
And with this we can at long last start the fight. The long-awaited fight as well against Hrímil Frostheart. Ah, yeah, she has swallowed that rain. I guess that's why Hrímil can control the will of other beings through the power of her ring. Seems to be. And now we are inside her mind. We need to overcome the challenge she's trying, I guess, to submit us to her will, and this is some sort of representation of that. So we will be revisiting all the places related to Hrímil that we've visited in the past, starting with the Abyss of Mordad. And this is just not a repeat of the space, but as you see here, the enemies from the Abyss are back as well. So that means on this portion of the fight, like in the Abyss, you cannot do AoEs. Look how the rate is going down. And that is because someone was using their AoEs. So I'm glad I was attacking from range, otherwise I might have died. But even decimated as we are, we can still take care of this Echo of Winter. So that we can rest everybody afterwards. It's gonna take a little bit longer, that's all, because we are still half a raid anyway. But even then, should be fast. In any case, those Echoes of Winter still take a long while to go down. Just need to rest everybody so we can continue to the next portion of the fight. We're just waiting for the resets to come through. Having some fun in the meantime before we continue with the raid. But we're almost done. We have this gauntlet inside the mind of the Frostheart. Once again, revisiting some of the places where we have already found Hrímil. So we have here the Abyss of Mordad. We have another portion based on the Anvil of Winter's Teeth. And then another one based a little on Gundabad.
Beneath the anvil of Winterstave, I swell the frost hall.
All right. So that was pull 1, and this is a pull 2. And we still haven't done the Anvil of Winterstave for the channel. I will at some point. Don't know when yet, but I will get to it. But this is the spot where you face Hrímil in the Anvil. Hrímil is boss what? Boss 4? Yeah, boss 4 of the Anvil. And this is the location where we face her. The fight is of course very different, but
understood at last what more gods had sought. All would serve me.
Well, this is one of those raids in which you get a chance of, yeah, revisiting old places for nostalgia and all that. Like in the Throne for the Pelennor Fields. It seems we were right on our appreciation. Hrímil is using the power of the ring to submit other beings to her will, and that's what her dragon voice really is. It's a really interesting way of explaining what the dragon voice is, something that we've heard before during the games, but I think on the books as well. Not all dragons had rings, of course, but for Hrímil herself, it kind of works. Yeah, some runes, an essence.
Durin, before the eyes of your ancestors. Let the fate of Gundabad be decided at long last.
You are indeed mighty, Hrímil, but I am not alone. My kin and kindred, the moment is at hand. Strike true.
Baruch Azad, I guess. So yeah, the final fight with Hrímil is technically a fight inside her mind. I've always been curious exactly what happens outside Hrímil's mind. I guess it's, well, just an illusion, really. The mind of the Frostheart that looks like the Dwarves in the Welkin-lofts. But in reality, all this is happening, well, inside the Hiddenhoard, the treasure room we were at before. But I'm still curious nonetheless. How how would that look from the treasure room? But I appreciate that the devs took us to a more open space for this fight. I think that treasure room was really too closed, too small for a final boss in a raid. But this space works way better. Now we just gotta focus our fire on Hrímil. It seems every once in a while she will call some ads. And then again, there is a recommended order to deal with those ads, but once again, tier 1, not that important. I still take care of some ads when they come my way. And there we go, that's the lair of the Frost Horde deed. Awesome. Yeah, we technically still need to deal with the ads. But you see here, Hrímil is fighting with Náin, or well, Náin is fighting with Hrímil. Hrímil has taken Náin with her jaw. And we now can finish the fight. And that was it for Hrímil, really. So I'm really careful in here. I just want to grab a picture of this, or well, a couple pictures really. But the group was asking me not to go downstairs and triggering Durin. I'm not entirely sure if that is just a theory or if it has been proved, but apparently if you trigger the final animation with Hrímil by going downstairs, that will make all the people who join the raid after that point will not be able to get the loot from the chest. And we had a couple people switching to different characters for the loot. So yeah, we were waiting for a couple of them to relog before opening the chest. But in the meantime, we can check what we have here. We have the Slayer deed with a title Vanquisher of the Frost Horde. You have slain a vast number of those in service to Hrímil Frostheart. As I said, really not that hard. Tolerance is now at level 68. Trying to decide what virtue to do next after tolerance. We still have a little bit more to experience to get for tolerance, but good to think of options anyway. Now that we are all complete, we are ready to loot, but I'm still not gonna trigger her, just in case. Let someone else do it.
You are beaten, Hrímil. Your armies are slain, and your voice is broken. Beg my mercy, and your death will be swift.
Finish it, or I will. As you wish. Durin has taken care of it.
Náin,
And with with this you complete the tier, the deed.
Is it over, nephew?
It is, Uncle Náin. Gundabad is ours. And all because of you.
And with this Náin, this Lakeless, has died a noble sacrifice, fighting Hrímil. His appearance, I think it's what threw her off, giving us the opening we needed to deliver the final blow, especially Durin. So I also really... It's a bittersweet ending, but it's very fitting for Náin. And in a way, redeeming himself for what happened in Deepsgrave. Your deeds at Abnankâra have proven instrumental in the reclamation of Mount Gundabad. But if I complete that quest right now, I will lose some embers. So I'm gonna hold on to that one for a little bit longer. But as I was saying, yeah, a great way for Náin to redeem himself after what happened in Deepsgrave, after his hastiness and his recklessness, getting himself captured, losing his black mattock, losing his beard. But now he came in here with a different mattock, but learning from his mistakes, and he has atoned for his failures, I think. But there you have it. That is the raid, the Hiddenhoard of Abnankâra. A couple seconds ago, you could see the title that we got for completed the raid on tier 1. We got the title Delver of the Hiddenhoard. That's basically it. I think Durin now needs some moment. A moment alone with Náin, say his goodbyes and everything. Náin's last words were also really great. I don't know how much he was doubting about Durin being the Deathless comeback, but they got a nice final moment in between them. Alright, now that the raid is finished, let us complete the pop-up quest first of all. Your deeds at Abnankâra have proven instrumental in the reclamation of Mount Gundabad. So we have completed the weekly quest. Tolerance is now level 77. Okay, we're making good progress in there. Some more goodies as well to boost. We're gonna travel back to the Hall of Vernozal and turn in the other quest with Durin. It's a really small step that we need to take now. Please let me go out. Alright. Now we just gotta find Durin. That'll be all. Oh, fancy. Oh, I didn't remember Durin did that. I have the question though. Is this gonna stay like this from now on? Or is this trophy gonna phase out the next time I come back here? Because I don't remember seeing this that much. Who knows? But oh my god, it looks so cool. And with this, Hrímil Hrímil's evils come to an end. Oh my god.
Many are the songs that will be sung of this day, my friend. At long last, Hrímil Frostheart is dead, and Mount Gundabad is ours.
And I would be remiss not to overlook the role you played in our victory, Beriathan. With Hrímil's death, our conquest of the mountain home is all but certain. Gorgard is slain, and the line of Mótsog is ended. The orcs and their wild cousins from the north have fallen into disarray, and it is my firm belief that those who linger within Gundabad will be righted in the days ahead. Even so, I grieve the loss of my uncle Náin, and it is with great sorrow that I shall have to deliver word of his death to my father King Thorin. My heart aches too that he was so soon to follow my grandfather Dain in death. May his deeds and his memory never be forgotten. Long live Náin, Slakeless, now and evermore. Ah, this also counts as as another Gundabad instance. Okay, so yeah, we have the new steed and the war steed appearances. Tolerance is now level 78. And yeah, even though, well, Hrímil's defeated, well, her death came with a price, and that is Náin. And I do share Durin's sorrows. And, well, his words just now were so heartfelt that you cannot help but feel sorry for poor Náin, especially because, well, he went through a lot in Gundabad with his pride and his distrust of the orcs and overcoming all that. And then his lesson in humility, shall we say, when he lost his brother Dushtalbúk. And to all end with this sacrifice. It's a bittersweet ending, both for the Gabil'akkâ's campaign and for Náin himself, that in the end he was still able to, I'm not sure if redeem himself is the right word, but he was able to do something really good for all the dwarves. And you can tell when he came to face Hrímil in the raid, he was kind of expecting to die. I don't know, that's what I get from it, like he knew what he was getting himself into, but that only makes his sacrifice all the more heroic. So yeah, the dwarves have lost a really big player today, and I didn't expect to be so sad for Náin's death, but here we are. So before we end today's episode, well, we just got a cool new steed, right? And, well, we cannot check it inside the halls of Gundabad, but I do want to check it out nonetheless. So I think we can grab... What do we do? Yeah, I think we're gonna grab the Stable Master in here.
Our need is dire.
And we're gonna go to Gurmakath. We need to be out in the open to take a look at a horse on one hand, but on the other hand, this seems like the perfect spot to end today's episode, and hopefully this will be a really good spot to begin the next one. But first of all, let us check the mount. Here we go, Steed of Hrímil's Bane. Yeah, the idea of this steed is that it fits with the cosmetics and the color scheme of the raid armor, but well, I don't have a lot of raid armor to show you today, but maybe in the future I will. But as I was saying, I'm hoping this will be the best spot to end this episode at, so that we can begin the next episode on the doorstep to Angmar, basically. Because yes, this is the end of all there is to do in Gundabad, but as of the time of recording at least, we are, well, the release of update 35 is right around the corner. Once again, we're gonna get the Return to Khazad Dûm storyline, and I'm not sure. I'm still not sure, but from what little I've been able to see on beta, it seems that Return to Khazad Dûm, it's gonna be the setup for what's gonna eventually send us back south to Gondor and even south, further south to Umbar. Once again, I'm still not 100% sure, but I think that's what's gonna be it. So we either from this spot travel to Angmar to do that Return to Khazad Dûm storyline and from there going south to Gondor, or we go directly south to Gondor if the Return to Khazad Dûm doesn't have a lot of relationship with what we've been doing so far in the main storyline and what will be coming next. I think the former is most likely, but I'll still need to wait and check that out. In any case, you will get the answer to that on the next episode of the main series, which once again I'm not sure exactly when it's going to drop, because now that we have caught up with the game, that might take a little bit longer, but we'll see. Everything from now on is a mystery and it's a new adventure, and that is also really exciting. But for the time being, this has been all on today's episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. Thank you so much for watching. Garlic is saying goodbye as well. He is also quite nostalgic and excited as I am. I hope you enjoyed what we've experienced so far, and I hope you're also as excited as I am for what will come next. But until then, my friends, stay safe, take care, good luck to you all, and I will see you on the next one.